The New York Jets have won a football game. They have defeated the Houston Texans right here in town at NRG Stadium, 21-14, your final score. It was a game that we will be talking about for centuries, a matchup of two 2-8 football teams duking it out at NRG. Welcome in. My name is Jake Asman. This is the Jake Asman Show, post-game edition after the New York Jets went out there and beat Houston to improve to 3-9 on the season. I want to start things off by saying just a huge thank you to the Houston Jets fan group. They organized an unbelievable tailgate at this game earlier today in the blue lot outside the stadium. I mean, we must have had at least 150 to 200 Jet fans that were in the parking lot. You'll see some of the videos coming out on social media later. The Jet chants were there. SNY brought their camera crew to the tailgate beforehand. So the Jet fans were well represented in Houston. You can see I got my Jet fans of Houston bracelet on. So just a phenomenal job with the tailgate before the game. A ton of transplants live in Houston. I lived here now for 3.5 years, and I got a chance to meet some of you at the game today. So if I met you at the game, shout out to you. Thanks so much for coming by and saying hello. Let's talk about this game. A lot to cover. We're going to break it down. I'll give you my big takeaways. We'll have some reaction from Robert Saleh and Zach Wilson, what they had to say after the game. Before we get to any of that, though, I ask, if you're new to the channel, you know what to do. You hit the subscribe button. Smash the subscribe button right over here. Like the video right down below. And that helps this channel continue to grow. I apologize. My voice sounds a little hoarse. That's because I was screaming and yelling, actually watching my football team win a game in person for the first time in years. Got back from the game moments ago, and that means it's time to do a post-game show. Real quick, I want to tell you that support for the Jake Asman Show is brought to you by Manscaped, the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped has just launched their 4th-generation trimmer. It's called the Lawnmower 4.0. So if you would like to purchase the Lawnmower 4.0 with this exclusive offer for watching the show, you could use my promo code ASMAN, ASMAN. You'll get 20% off and free shipping. So use the best tools on your family jewels, manscaped.com, promo code ASMAN. All right, let's talk about this game. I'll give you some of my big takeaways here. To me, you look at this game, and obviously it's no secret, both these teams aren't very good. There's a reason why the Jets were 2-8. There's a reason why the Texans were 2-8. But the difference, though, is this. As bad as the Jets are, the Texans still lack even more talent, and that really played out as this game went on. But I really thought early on in this game, when you look at the Jets, they got out to such a slow start, and I think a lot of it was because, well, Zach Wilson's coming back from a knee injury where he hasn't played in over a month, and you're talking about a guy that looked rusty early on. Look, it's okay to point out that Zach Wilson was not great in this game today. He certainly was not great for most of that first half. I give a lot of credit, though, to Mike LaFleur. I thought he called a really good game. I thought his play calling when the Jets went down 14-3 really saved this game for this team today. I thought he did a good job going to the run, going with the design pitches to the outside. The Texans are weak on the outside. They did a terrible job with, gap control and, maintaining the edge, setting the edge. And I thought the Jets did a good job exposing that weakness. Clearly that came up on film study. So that was really good. I also really like the fact that, you look at this Jets team when they were down 14-3 and they needed to put together a drive, they were able to go down the field and get it done. I mean, that was a really good drive right before the end of the half. Obviously, you cap it off with the great run at the end there by Austin Walter. Scores a 2-yard rushing touchdown with about a minute to go in the first half. Josh Johnson then going back out there with the direct snap and picking up the 2-point conversion. That's where the game really turned for the Jets. That drive was really good play calling, I thought, by LaFleur, and Zach did a really nice job managing the offense on that drive. On the interception early in this game, look, he was trying to make a play that can't happen. It looked like Ty Johnson was looking for the ball, then turned his back and kept running. But either way, I think it was 3rd and 17. That certainly can't happen there. So, that was certainly frustrating. But look, he's going to make mistakes. He's a rookie. We got to be patient with Zach Wilson. Overall, the numbers, they don't look great, right? 14 of 24, 145 yards, one rushing touchdown, one interception. He should have had another throwing touchdown to Griffin. Griffin dropped it. I thought Zach was okay today. I will say this, though. It is much better to have Zach Wilson learn in games that you win. Just look at the Mac Jones Patriots at the beginning of the year when he was playing okay and they still found ways to win. The key for the Jets now down the stretch and the remaining schedule they have is to try and put together as many good drives as possible for Zach Wilson to get as comfortable as possible. I thought after another slow start, which once again remains a problem, the Jets have to correct that for him. That is something that we could point to at least and say, yeah, he got better as the game went on. He played well at the end of that first half on that drive I mentioned. He obviously went out there in the second half and he played much better, where the Jets finished this game, believe it or not, actually scoring 18 unanswered points. I also really liked the play calling I mentioned from LaFleur, but just the aggressiveness from Saleh and from LaFleur. I mean, we saw the Jets go out there on fourth down and go for it. We saw the Jets convert 2 fourth down attempts on a drive that ended with the Amendola field goal to put them up 21-14 with about 3.5 minutes to go. Good play call with that Elijah Moore end around. I had a pretty good view of that play, and you could see that was really schemed up nicely. So I thought the play calling today overall by LaFleur was good, and that's something we should harp on, because with last time Zach Wilson was playing quarterback, LaFleur was still on the sidelines, and there was a lot of thought about, well, is LaFleur any good? I think he had a really good play calling, opportunity today, and I thought he did a nice job getting Zach comfortable, getting him into a rhythm when he went out there and was rusty. And look, Zach Wilson just needs more time. I mean, we're talking about a rookie going through growing pains where he hasn't played in a month. So he needs more time. He needs to get reps. Obviously, you're not playing a great Texans team by any means, but the Texans, the last 2 games, had forced a total of 10 turnovers. They made Ryan Tannehill look horrendous last week. So, you give credit to Zach that other than that fluky interception, which really shouldn't happen, but if you look at the play, it looked like Ty Johnson was turning and then kept running, miscommunication there. He did a pretty good job taking care of the ball. So there's certainly some things to build on there. Now let's talk about the defense, because they stole the show. Now look, the Texans are horrendous on offense, all right? Against the Titans last week, I harped on this on the channel all week. The Texans did not win that game last week. The Titans lost that game, right? So what do I mean by that? Well, the Titans had 5 turnovers. The Texans last week, over their last 7 drives, only had 22 yards of offense. 22 yards. The Texans today, they go up 14-3, and then look what happened. Well, they stopped scoring. Why? Because this is what they do. They're not a very good football team, and the Jets did a nice job defensively making life difficult for Tyrod Taylor. The defensive line today was outstanding. The Jets went out there, and they got pressure on the quarterback. John Franklin Myers, nice to see his number called as many times as it was. That interception, I thought he was going to score on it early on in the game. And that's another thing. 7 of the Texans' points today came off that Zach Wilson interception early on in the game. So you eliminate that, and they really didn't do much as far as taking the ball and going down the field. I thought the Jets' defense played really well, but we got to put it in context, knowing that the Texans' offense is arguably the worst in the sport, maybe not named Detroit. So you look at the Jets' defense the last 2 weeks now in totality, 24 points allowed to Miami, 14 to the Texans today. They've been playing better. Is it a product of the teams they're playing? You no doubt about it. It certainly has a lot to do with it, but they've looked a lot better. It looks like guys are in better position. I thought the play that Bryce Hall made on the deflected pass towards Brandon Cooks at the end of the game was excellent coverage on that pass breakup. So there were some things to like from this Jets team today. I thought the defensive line, though, set the tone, and they got after it. They took advantage of a Texans O-line that wasn't very good, at the beginning of the year, but now is facing a ton of injuries, including no Laramie Tunsil for them, and their center was out as well. So they played a backup center today, and the Jets defensive line did a good job. Sheldon Rankins had a big game. Quincy Williams got in there. John Franklin Myers did his thing. It was good to see the Jets defensive line have a game like that. Now, look, you're playing the Texans. Context is king here, but it was good to see the Jets defensive line go out there and do what they did. I mean, the reality is the NFL, you pitch a shutout in the second half, I don't care who you're playing, you deserve credit for that. So I will give the Jets credit for that. Now, it's worth talking about more here, getting back to the offense. It's worth talking about just how effective the Jets running game was today, because that was the key to everything, right? Zach Wilson, a little jittery early, a little rusty, inconsistent, wasn't on target. The running game settled him in. The Jets did an excellent job today running the football. And, when you look at rushing numbers, just look at the running backs, right? Like, I'm not going to look at Zach Wilson's rushing total. I'm not going to look at, anything other than just carries and yards. And Tevin Coleman today, 67 yards rushing on 16 carries. That's 4.2 yards a touch. Ty Johnson today, 6 carries, 42 yards. That's an average of 7 yards a touch. Hell, Austin Walter today, 9 carries, 38 yards. Great story for him. Kid grew up in the Houston area and scores a touchdown against the hometown team that helped the Jets win a game today. He went out there and gave you something. I love the end around. We talked about that to Elijah Moore. That was a big play in the game. So creative running wasn't just like, all right, first, second down, run, pass. I thought LaFleur did a nice job getting the backs involved. And, today receiving wise, they tried a bunch of times to get the ball I saw on the outside to Elijah Moore. I noticed that, just from my seats in the end zone. One of the plays, Moore slipped on a route, and Zach ended up having to take a sack. That was on the opening drive of the game where he settled, where the Jets had to settle for a field goal. So that was frustrating that they couldn't connect there. But he did try to go to Moore 8 times today, and he ends up with 4 catches, 46 yards. Zach got better, certainly, from really the midway point in the second quarter on. He was much better. Was he great? No, but he was bad to start this game, and he certainly got better as the game went on. Ryan Griffin, I mentioned him. He had that drop in the end zone. That should have been a touchdown for Zach Wilson, a really good play where he was on the run and, threw a beautiful pass that, I think Ryan Griffin would tell you he's got to make that catch. So overall, it's funny. I was talking about this with one of my friends. I was at the game. Overall, you see the final score, and it's Jets 21, Texans 14. You think this was like a conventionally played football game. That's not exactly what happened here today, right? I mean, the final score makes it seem normal, but you had 2-point conversions, missed field goals. It was a wacky score for us to end up at 21-14, but that's how it is. You take the win. Jets get to the 3-9 now, and you look at the schedule coming up. This is what we were talking about. There's winnable games the rest of the way for the Jets. They're going to play an Eagles team that's coming off a brutal loss to the New York Giants today. That's a winnable game for the Jets at home next week. So you certainly could point to that, and you would expect the Jets to be competitive and have a chance to win that game a week from today. And then obviously you play the Jacksonville Jaguars again. Another game for the New York Jets that we should point to and say, yeah, that's a winnable game. You have the Saints on the schedule as well with their quarterback issues. They're not great. Miami's still on the schedule again. So, to me, the Jets are not going to finish with just 3 wins. I think they're going to win a couple more games here down the stretch. And it's way better to, win games and talk about the quarterback developing and talk about key aspects of the team developing when you're doing it off a win rather than a loss. Like losing to the Texans today, even if it's, in their building, that would not have been acceptable. I'm sorry, it just would not have been. I cover the Texans for a living here in Houston. They're not a good team. The Jets needed a win today. And when they got off to the slow start, it's good for building a culture, building, a foundation that they were able to come from behind. Like the Jets never come from behind when they trail by double digits on the road. Texans or not, bad team or not. Like there's a building step that you could point to, a building block that you could lay by coming from behind and winning games regardless who the opponent is. So let's not make too much of the win because we are talking about a bad Texans team the Jets beat, but you much rather win games than lose games here. Don't talk to me about the draft pick. I do not care about the draft pick. The Jets are going to have a pick in the top 10. They might have 2 picks in the top 10. Let's not worry about the draft pick. Let's worry about the young players on this team playing well, including the quarterback, and this team winning games. Who cares about the draft pick? Sal is trying to build a culture, right? That's what he says. Lay a foundation, then win as many games as possible. And that includes Zach Wilson playing well. And obviously he was not great today. He said after the game he was really frustrated with his performance. But we're also talking about a kid that missed the last 4 games and is coming in off injury. And obviously he's playing on the road. And he just needs experience. He needs reps. Like he was rusty. And hopefully now that he could stay healthy down the stretch and stack together some consistent games. So those are my initial thoughts on this game. Big shout out to the 157 people currently watching right now. If you're new to the channel, I ask that you hit the subscribe button right over here. You like this video down below as well. That's how we can continue to grow this page. With that being said, let's hear from you. What were some of your biggest takeaways from the Jets win over the Houston Texans? Let's see what you guys are thinking here. Let's start with this one from Timothy because this makes me laugh. Yeah, how dare Wilson not be Brady already? Yeah, I mean, look, Zach Wilson, was he good today? No. Was he good at times? Yeah. Did he have some nice plays? He did. Was he bad? I don't think he was bad. Was he great? No, I don't think we could sum up Zach Wilson's performance by saying he was good or bad. I think there's way more nuance to it. I thought he was okay. I thought he was bad to start the game, but some of that was rustiness. Some of that was the offensive line. Some of that was just, all right, he's a rookie. And then he got better as the game went on. It was good to see the coaching from the Jets help them today. How often can we point to the Jets going out there and we could say, hey, the coaching was key in their win? Like, we have not been able to say that too many times, specifically in the Todd Bowles to the Adam Gase era. I thought the coaching today did a nice job settling Zach Wilson and allowing him to get into the game. And, you know, the running game was very good for the Jets. The defense played well throughout, and you scored 18 unanswered points. Now, there's one thing I missed that I got to rant about here for a moment, because at the time, I was furious sitting next to my guy, Matt Siegel, at this game today at NRG Stadium. All right, Matt Amendola stinks. The fact that the Jets do not have a different kicker by now, I don't know what Joe Douglas is waiting for. They brought in a kid earlier in the week, and he's still not the kicker. I mean, Matt Amendola is terrible. If the Jets had lost this game, that would have been a huge talking point, because that missed kick, it ended up not mattering. But at 18-14, the Jets could have went up 21-14 way earlier in this game, and instead they allowed the Texans to have a chance and hang around because of just the missed kicks. And, you know, the Jets at one point had to be ultra aggressive on fourth down and go for it because they knew they couldn't trust Amendola to kick. So I should have mentioned it at the top in the monologue. The kicking on this team is not good. Amendola is not good. The other play that frustrated me on special teams, and he's been good so far as a Jet, so I don't want to kill him, but Hardy's got to bat that ball down at the 1 or 2 yard line and pin the Texans back, not give Tyrod Taylor the opportunity to get the football from the 25-yard line. That was a big play in the game and ended up not mattering because the Jets won. Woo, we love it. But that was a big moment in the game that could have cost the Jets today, and they're lucky that it did not. That being said, let's open it up. Some questions, comments. What are you guys thinking here? Was anyone at the game today? And if you were you at the Houston Jet fan tailgate? If you were, hopefully you had a good time, because I know there was a lot of us there, and that was a heck of an experience. JM says Mike White would have put 40 on the Texans defense today. JM, I don't know about that one. Let's see. There were a couple Mike White jerseys, by the way, at this tailgate today, which was pretty funny. Mike White didn't exactly look too good in his most recent start. The reality is Wilson's the quarterback. He needs to play. He needs to develop. All these rookie quarterbacks are struggling. Trevor Lawrence, I saw, wasn't that good today. Fields hasn't been good today. All the rookie quarterbacks have struggled, other than really Mac Jones, who's on by far and away the best team. He's got a Hall of Fame coach, an elite OC, great running game, great O-line, and arguably the league's best defense. Not to mention Mac Jones, he put up big numbers today, but Nick Folk still had 5 field goals. So they stalled out a lot of times in the red zone. I don't need to make this, though, about Mac Jones. It's just, the point is, rookies, it takes time. Justin Herbert was an anomaly. He's an outlier. Usually rookies struggle. We've seen Zach struggle this year. We saw him struggle today, but we've also seen flashes of brilliance, and the Jets need to continue to coach him up, get him more comfortable, shake off that rust, and hopefully he goes out there and continues to play well. Hulk smash. Jake, we got to win, bro. Yes, we did. Never apologize for a win. This team is not tanking. This team is not in position to apologize for any wins, and they got to win, and we will certainly take it. Raw Power writes in, if you already believe a rookie quarterback is a bust after 6 games, please be quiet and go back to playing your video games. Couldn't agree more, Raw Power. Do I know Zach Wilson is going to be a great quarterback in the NFL? I have no idea. Do I know he stinks and is a bust? I have no idea. Do I think he has a chance to be very good? Yeah, damn right I do, and I've said that from day one. So he needs time. Look, unfortunately, he had to just miss 4 games because he got hurt. So now let's hope down the stretch. Wilson had 7 games to go. Now he's got 6 games to go. The Jets are in position here where hopefully he gets better game by game, shakes off the rust, back home next week against the Eagles, winnable game, and let's see what he could do. Not to mention, guys, Michael Carter didn't play. Corey Davis didn't play. Denzel Mims didn't play. It's not like the Jets have their full complement of weapons. So give it time. Zach's missed a lot of time. Obviously, he had great chemistry with Corey Davis, and he's not there today. So we just got to show some patience here. Let's see. Trying to get some more of your comments here. I wish my StreamYard program was a little easier, how I could get them all up on the screen in like rapid fire fashion. Arkham Knight writes in, Zach gets a win and fans are still negative after the kid came back from a PCL sprain. Look, I don't want to say people are being too negative on Zach. I think there are some that maybe are being too positive, and then there are some that are being too negative. I think it's a nuanced conversation. I think Zach was good at times today. He also struggled. There's nothing wrong with that. He's a rookie who is playing for the first time in over a month and is still not at 100%. He admitted that after the game. Like when he came back and then came back in, he was limping off the field. Now, the Jets medical staff has told him you can't make the knee injury any worse, but he's not at 100%. And you saw that today if you watched him. He just needs time. He obviously needs to continue to improve his mechanics, and I think that comes with coaching. That's why they brought in his personal quarterback coach. That face mask pull on Zach did not look fun. It did not, but everyone here in Houston got to see how handsome Zach Wilson is. So that was one positive. Am I right? Let's see. Timothy goes, he played like poop in the first half, but led touchdown drives for the win. He did. And he should have had a touchdown pass as well. That Ryan Griffin dropped. I thought overall Zach Wilson today was about average. There were certainly some flashes of really good throws. There also were, some reads where he locked in on one guy. There were some times where it felt like he was a little jittery in the pocket early on, but the Jets got the win. Like, that's all that matters. You're trying to build a culture, build a foundation, like win games. That's the key here. The Miami Dolphins keep winning games. Does it matter? Just win games. Let's find out if the Jets have a good coaching staff. Let's find out if they have a good offensive coordinator. Let's find out if they have a good defense. Like we need to find out certain things about this team. Winning games is the best way to do it. They are not drafting. They're not drafting a quarterback, right? They're not drafting a quarterback. So like, it doesn't matter about like the draft pick and just lose games and lose for this person. Win games, build a culture. Winning today is a good thing for this team. Let's see. Benji writes in, I don't think being a rookie is an excuse to not hit 5-yard checkdowns. Yeah, Benji, there were some throws today he'd like to have back. He told you so after the game. I think that's nerves, though. I think also that's rust. I think that's his mechanics being slightly off because his his knee is not at 100% clearly. So, yeah, does he have to hit some of the easy check down throws? Sure. Did he do a much better job at that in the second half? Yeah, he did. There were a couple nice plays that I thought Zach Wilson made in this game. A couple to Ryan Griffin. There was one play, I'm trying to think of the receiver that caught it. I had a tough view from where my seat was in the stadium, but I think it was Keelan Cole. He checked down to Keelan Cole, and that put them in position to move the chains on a critical third down pass. I think it was Cole. It might have been Griffin. Either way, it was a really good job by Zach because he went through all his progressions. You could see it where I was sitting here. So it was fun to watch this team win a game. Like, that's ultimately what it's all about. Stacking wins, playing better down the stretch. Defenses look good the last couple games here. Let's hope they can continue to build on it. There's some real positives here. And obviously, Zach just playing is a positive. Whether he plays well or doesn't play well, we learned nothing when we watched Joe Flacco. We learned nothing had Josh Johnson had to come into this game. Zach just has to play. Zach playing and hopefully playing well game by game is good for this franchise going forward. Jay was at the game. Lots of Jets fans and polite Texans fans got away with an ugly W, albeit credit to an improved defense. Jay, the Texan fans were all very nice. Some of them even came to our tailgate. I mean, they want their team to lose. The Texans are the Jets from last year where they're rooting for losses. They want as high a pick as possible. Only difference is there's no Trevor Lawrence or Zach Wilson or Justin Fields that's coming out in this draft class. So that's why I talked about this game like the Jets got to win. Like, there's not many games where I'm going to point to the rest of the way and say, yep, the Jets better win or else. This was one of those games. You cannot lose to a Texans team. And you have to get that first road win, too. Like, this team had been winless on the road so far this year. Checking off the win on the road is also a good thing for a young team to go through and learn how to do it. Let's see. What else are you guys thinking here? Mad Genius thinks the game might be a little too fast for Zach at the moment. That's why he needs to play. He needs time. He needs time. He needs reps. He was certainly a lot better in the second half. And I also think, like, Zach's trying to navigate through playing with a banged up knee right now. He's not at 100%. Like, they got to coach up his mechanics, and they will now that he's back practicing. He was much better in the second half. He wasn't good to start the game, but that's been a trend that's been a problem for Zach this entire year. Even in the win over the Titans, most of the spectacular plays made in that win by Zach were obviously in the second half and then in overtime of that game. Let's see. Jets forever. First game back in 5 weeks. Yeah, you know what? Maybe I was wrong when I said that there weren't too many Jet fans that were so negative on Zach. I think we just got to be a little more patient. Like, he's played 6 full NFL games. He's 22 years old. Like, let's be patient with Zach Wilson and give him the benefit of the doubt here. I mean, my God. Carmelo, we had 3 quarterbacks play well. Zach comes in and looks lost. He didn't look lost. He was rusty at the beginning of the game and then got better as the game went on. I would not say he looked lost. Like, were you that blown away with Joe Flacco last week? Like, come on. You weren't. And Mike White was bad against the Bills. Like, it's going to be up and down. This team is not great. And they have a first-year coach, a first-year OC. There's going to be growing pains. We've seen a lot of them. That's why it's nice that they won this game today, because you're much better off learning from a win than having to deal with coming off a loss. Quincy Williams, great pickup. Yeah, Quincy Williams went out there and he played really well today. I was impressed by what he did. I thought he had a very good game. Some guys that Joe Douglas picked off the waiver wire. Quincy Williams, very good game today. John Franklin Myers, very good game today. So Douglas has not done everything right as Jets GM, but he's infinitely better than any general manager they've had in a long time, right? I mean, McCagden and Izek were a joke. Douglas just needs more time. I talk about this with Zach Wilson. Douglas has got 7 picks in the first 4 rounds. He's got to hit on those picks, but he's been good with the waiver pickups. He's been good with some of the, mid-round selections. Obviously, Mekhi Becton was with the Jets today. I saw him walking off the field. He's coming back pretty soon, probably close to practicing here. So, like, you look at this team and you want to point to the young players playing well down the stretch. And then obviously you look at this 2021 draft class. Elijah Moore is already their best offensive player. Michael Carter looks like a stud. AVT's really good. And not to mention Zach Wilson's now playing and hopefully could play well down the stretch. You got to feel good about this draft class. Douglas just needs more time. Quincy Williams, to get back to VR's point here, was an excellent, excellent pickup. He's played well. Let's see. Sean writes in, awesome meeting you, man. I was the tall guy in the Mosley jersey. That tailgate was excellent. Sean, pleasure to meet you, man. Great to meet you. Thanks so much for saying hello. Yeah, the tailgate today here in Houston was fantastic. The weather was not great, though. Like, I bragged to all my friends back in New York that, in November you could wear, shorts and you could wear a T-shirt outside. It was like in the 50s today. It was like right now it's 57 degrees outside, but in the morning when we were tailgating, it was like 51, 52, which, look, it's not that cold when you're from New York like I am, where you went to school in Ithaca, New York, where that is the actual frozen tundra. But for Houston, pretty cold. So it felt like, a fall afternoon in New York today at this game. They had the roof closed at NRG, so not that it mattered. Prestige writes in, this fan base has seen Zach Wilson play 6 games and expects him to have 50 passing touchdowns by week 7. When will this fan base learn to give Zach Wilson and the team time to grow and learn? Prestige, the reason why a lot of people are cynical is because the Jets haven't given us anything in a long time, specifically in the last 10 years. Forget just like winning the Super Bowl, which we all know is 50 plus years since the last time it happened. But there's a lot of people that just they expect the worst. Why? Because more times than not, they've been right in the history of this franchise. That's not fair to Zach, though, and that's not fair to Douglas or Saleh. They have nothing to do with the ineptitude of this franchise in the past. They need time. Zach Wilson needs more than 6 games. He's played 6 full games. He's a rookie in the NFL. Most of these guys in the history of the sport struggle. Is Trevor Lawrence playing well? Is Justin Fields playing well? Is Trey Lance even playing? Takes time. All right. Justin Herbert doing what he did last year is the anomaly. That's the outlier. That doesn't happen. Zach is going to have games where he struggles. It's just a fact. Like Josh Allen wasn't Josh Allen until he got to his third year. It takes time. We got to be patient. You see that Zach Wilson has the talent. He works hard. I think he can handle dealing with the scrutiny of playing in New York, dealing with the New York media, and dealing with passionate Jet fans. He just needs time. All right, was he good today? He wasn't good. Was he bad? I don't think he was bad. It was somewhere in the middle. It was a nuanced, mediocre performance that you should kind of expect from a rookie who hasn't played in 5 weeks, coming off a PCL sprain injury. Let's see. Jets are 3-8, not 3-9. Oh, did I screw that up I did screw that up. Thank you for the correction there, Life. Appreciate that. Jets improved to 3-8, not 3-9. Got that right there. The beard again. The 3rd and 29 run was a great run. Got to make their offense feel good. That was a great run. Now, it turned out to not, really mattering in the big picture because Amendola missed the field goal. But that run basically put them in position to, at the time, make it 21-14. They didn't do it there, but they obviously did it later in the game. What else are you guys thinking here? Zach will be okay. It will take time. Evan writes in, Zach's fundamentals need work. How does he expect his receivers to catch those zip balls? I think that was jittery. I think that was just, a little rust as well. Now, if he's still doing that a couple games from now, then we could talk about it. But I think some of that was just rust. Like, yeah, he's got to make those throws. No one's going to apologize for that. But he also had some really nice throws today. Ryan Griffin should have caught that touchdown pass. That was a really good play by Zach Wilson. It didn't count because the ball hit the ground. But that throw on, I guess it was, 2nd and 8? The throw to Elijah Moore on the slant. Off the play action, there was nobody there. No window to throw to, and he put that ball on the money. Zach can play. We've seen it. He just needs to obviously be more consistent like all rookie quarterbacks need to. Douglas has to hit on a left tackle and quarterback. Without them, it's all for naught. Yeah, look, Douglas is invested in Becton, and he's invested in Wilson. Those two picks, more so than Wilson than Becton, will ultimately define his tenure as the Jets GM. Like, if you look at the power ranking of Joe Douglas moves that he's going to be defined by, drafting Zach Wilson, 1, and then 2, hiring Robert Saleh. That's why winning these games is important. I don't care if it's against bad football teams. You got to win games, build a culture. Brian Flores was tanking for Tua his first year. The Dolphins were the butt of everyone's jokes. They were 0-7, 0-8. They were getting blown out every week. Well, they finished the year playing well down the stretch. They end up with 5 wins. They beat New England last week of the regular season in 2019, and they built on that season by going out there last year and winning 10 games. A good culture, a good coach means that even when it looks like the season's bleak, you find a way to win a bunch of games. And now all of a sudden, the Miami Dolphins are back in the mix because they continue to win games and get back to 5-7 with the Giants and then the Jets coming up on their schedule. So they're still alive. So that's a coach that's proven he's pretty good at his job. That's why winning games matters. Showing us something matters. Letting us evaluate this coaching staff all matters. Kyle Shanahan, his first year with the Niners, they were 0-7. They played well down the stretch. Then the Niners came out there in that 2019 season and obviously had a run all the way to the Super Bowl. Saleh saw that firsthand. The Niners that year, I believe, led the NFL in snaps played by rookies. The Jets are on that same pace this year. They lead the NFL in snaps played by rookies. So just patience and giving this regime a chance is the only way things are going to change. The quick fix does not exist when you're talking about the Jets. They've tried it. It never works. You have to just put some unfortunate blind faith that you have a GM and a head coach that know what they're doing. And I think there's some signs that we could point to that they actually know what they're doing. Let's see. Mike writes in, yo, Jake, hope you enjoyed being at the game. I did. I saw a Jet win. I have not seen too many of those over the years. The last Jet game that I saw in person, I don't even remember. It was a while ago, though. It was before I moved to Houston. So pre-2018, the last Jet game I saw that they won. So I will certainly take being in the building today and seeing a Jet win and definitely seeing a bunch of fellow Jet fans getting a chance to enjoy the victory. Jay Perez writes in, you have to post some videos of the tailgate. Jay, here's what you could do. On my Instagram page and my Twitter page, at Jake Asman, shoot me a follow there, and you'll see some clips and some videos from the tailgate. And then I got to call my friends at SNY and see if I could get the video when they came and filmed part of the tailgate as well. And we all did the Jet chant in the parking lot, which was a lot of fun. But on my Twitter at Jake Asman, I live tweet every Jet game, and then I tweeted out some picks from the game as well. Let's see. ZW just needs time. If you're off the ZW train, you're just in the wrong. Yeah, look, Zach Wilson might not end up being a good quarterback. He might end up being a really good quarterback. The reality is we don't know after 6 games what he is, which is why he needs to play. Joe Douglas has a pretty good draft record, does he not? He drafted Zach Wilson. Don't we need to give him the benefit of the doubt and hope that he knows what he's doing? Like, Joe Douglas had nothing to do with Sam Darnold being drafted or Mark Sanchez or Geno Smith or name your Jet quarterback that didn't work out. Like, Douglas gets the opportunity to pick his guy, and we got to give him more than 6 games before we decide whether or not Zach can play or not. I mean, it's nuts, some of the comments I'm reading here in this chat. Let's see. Jake, when you watch the replay, you're going to feel different about Zach. 14 completions and hardly any if we're on time and on target. His accuracy is look, I saw some real plays today that I thought were solid. I'm going to go back and rewatch the game. And, I actually get to kill 2 birds with 1 stone for this because I work on the radio here in Houston. So I normally watch back every Texans game to make sure I didn't miss any greatness that football team has to offer. And now when I get to rewatch the game, I'll be watching my team, so that won't be too bad. But yeah, I'm going to rewatch the game, and I'll have more thoughts on it. From what I saw, though, there was some good, there was some bad. I saw a guy that's making his 6th career start in the NFL playing on a team that we all know still lacks premium talent at a lot of positions. They ran the ball well. Zach got comfortable. He got into a rhythm. He led 2 scoring drives in big spots. I mean, it's tough to sit here and just say that he was awful. Was he good? No. Was he awful? I would not say Zach Wilson was awful. We're 6 games in to a rookie quarterback. You tell me how, Josh Allen was as a rookie, or like Troy Aikman or Peyton Manning. Like I don't need to give you the whole spiel, the list. We've all heard it, but like no one wants to listen apparently. Let's see. Prestige writes in, something that really bugs me is that when Trevor Lawrence has terrible plays, no one talks about it because he isn't a Jet. He has more picks than Wilson. Well, a couple of things. One, Lawrence has obviously played more games than Zach Wilson, so he should, in theory, have more interceptions. But 2, because no one cares about the Jaguars. This was my point to those that were saying last year when the Jets were in position for the number 1 pick, the Jets shouldn't get the number 1 pick. Trevor Lawrence should pull an Eli Manning. He should force himself to a different team. He's on the Jaguars with Urban Meyer. Would you rather have Robert Saleh as your head coach or Urban Meyer? The answer is Robert Saleh. All right, we've already seen way more from Saleh than we've seen from Urban Meyer. I mean, drafting a running back in the 1st round, how'd that go with the pick for the kid from Clemson that ended up getting hurt? Like, just, I mean, the amount of things that I could point to with the Jaguars, this is not a Jaguar show, but the reason why no one talks about Lawrence struggling is because there's 7 people that watch him play every week. That's the reality. The Jets are one of the most popular teams in the NFL. The Jet fan base is massive. Maybe they're not the Cowboys. Maybe they're not the Steelers, but the Jet fan base is huge. And they play in New York. They play in the biggest media market. And there's a lot of prominent media people that root for the Jets. So they're a lightning rod of sports topics. Also, look at ESPN, the amount of former Jets that are on TV. People pay attention to the Jets. It's the same thing with the Mets. Even though the Mets aren't the Yankees and the Jets aren't the Giants, like the Mets can never just be bad and off to the side. They're always front and center. Same thing with the Knicks when they've been bad for most of my lifetime until now. Thank God for Tom Thibodeau and Leon Rose. They're in New York, so there's going to be a spotlight, and Zach's going to have to deal with that. And there's people jumping to conclusions after 6 games. Have fun. You would think Zach Wilson sucks. You think he's going to be bad? God bless you. I think I need to see more than 6 games before I can make the determination, because that's just asinine. Trevor Lawrence, can't miss. The greatest prospect ever. He's revolutionized the art of throwing the football. And no one talks about his struggles because he plays on a team that no one watches. That's the price to pay when you play for the Jets, when you play in New York. So, yeah, no one talks about it, but that's the reality, and that's the uphill climb that Saleh, Douglas, Wilson, what they got to go through here to turn this organization around. You got to deal with the scrutiny that comes with playing in New York. Let's see. Preach it, brother. Hell yeah, raw power. Brian Z goes, that was not a Jets victory, but more of Houston finding yet another way to lose. See, Brian, I disagree with that because it's not like the Texans turned the ball over and like handed the Jets a win. There were some penalties where they were undisciplined. There's no doubt about that. But Like, to me, the Jets were just better in the second half. Like, they pitched the shutout in the second half. Like, they deserve credit for that. Look, I'm not going to sit there and tell you, this is a great win and the Jets are now going to go 9-8 and run the table. That's not happening. But I could tell you, the Jets showed you something in the second half. The defense played well. Their coverage late in this game by the secondary was good. The defensive line played really well throughout. They ran the ball well. The Jets were better today. This was not like last week where, 90% of games in the NFL are lost, not won, according to Robert Saleh. Like, the Jets beat themselves last week with the penalties, the missed kicks, the Flacco turnover on the goal line. That wasn't the case today. Like, the Jets didn't turn the ball over today outside of that one Zach interception where the miscommunication happened on 3rd and 17. Like, that's the difference. The Texans last week forced 5 turnovers against the Titans. That's why they won. The Texans had 22 yards of offense over their last 7 drives last week. Today, they didn't score in the second half. This is a bad offensive team. The Jets took advantage of that, and they did just enough on offense. They had long, sustained drives. They dominated the time of possession in the second half, and they were the better team today. So you take the win and you move forward. Let's see. How hurt is Zach that he's playing? Because I'm nervous. And is he playing because he's nervous he might lose the job? Zach is not at 100%. He has said that. He said his knee kind of popped today, but the type of injury he's dealing with cannot be made any worse. I'm not a doctor, so I don't know exactly how that works. I'm not even going to pretend to be one here on YouTube. But reading the quotes from Zach Wilson, it sounds like this is an injury that's not going to keep him out, or an injury that's not going to prevent him from playing. I mean, was he great? No. Was he awful today? I don't think he was. I think he's able to go out there and continue to get better and better as the year goes on. The next step for Zach Wilson, we'll talk more about this during the week. The next step for Zach Wilson is to go out there and start the game fast. Have an opening drive touchdown. Move the ball in the first quarter. Like, today was just a continuation of what we saw in his first 5 games, where the slow starts, put the Jets in a hole. Luckily, the defense kept them in the game early. They were only down 14-3. It could have been a lot worse. Shout out here to R. Soleil for the super sticker that I just saw popped up here on the screen. Thanks so much to everyone that supports this channel. We got 262 of you watching this live right now. Some of you might be new. If you're new, I ask that you subscribe. You can help me out, though, if you already do subscribe and like the video down below. More likes helps boost the YouTube algorithm, and thus more people can discover this content, especially real Jet fans who live and die with the team like we do. If you're watching a post-game video on YouTube after the Jets picked up their 3rd win of the season, in late November post-Thanksgiving. Richard writes in, my concern is that Mac Jones looks miles ahead of ZW. Is it the system, or is he just a better talent? Let's break this down, because it seems like we all have, Patriot, fear that, they have their guy and here comes domination. Number one, Mac Jones is the only rookie quarterback that's gone out there and has played well so far. There's no talk of Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, Trey Lance. So it's like, my concern is about Zach Wilson. Like, Mac Jones, I don't think we can compare him to anyone. His situation is so much better than any of the situations these other quarterbacks walked into. It's not even funny. It's worth pointing out, New England had the 15th pick in the draft this year. There are 32 teams that play in the NFL. That means New England was a mediocre team last year. They were 7-9, despite Cam Newton being bad, despite all the COVID opt-outs. They still won 7 games. Mac Jones went to a team that has a Hall of Fame coach, maybe the best football coach of all time, a phenomenal offensive coordinator who's been an NFL head coach, and Josh McDaniels, a great offensive line, a great running game, and arguably the league's number 1 defense. Not to mention a great kicker in Nick Folk, who had like 5 field goals today. Mac Jones is in the perfect system to have success as a rookie. Like, it's like the 2009 Jets offense they're running up there. Ground and pound, great defense, running game, don't turn the ball over. Now, Mac's been better than what Sanchez was in 2009, but you get my point. Like, I just don't think we can compare the situations. I think if you put Trevor Lawrence or Zach Wilson in the New England system, they'd be having a lot of success as well. Not saying that Mac Jones won't end up being a good quarterback. I just think we're anointing him like he's the next Tom Brady, and I think we got to be patient. He might be good, but guess what? There's no rule that means that both Zach Wilson and Mac Jones can't be good. It doesn't have to be one or the other. It's I laugh because I cover the Texans here. Like, we always would compare Deshaun Watson to Patrick Mahomes. There's no rule that both guys can't be very good. Like, there's no rule, right? There's no rule that, that Sam Darnold and Josh Allen both couldn't end up being good. Sam Darnold ended up not being good. But like one or the other, comparing the two, it's way too early to compare Mac Jones to any of these rookies because Mac Jones inherited by far and away the best situation. I don't know why people can't see that. Matt Siegel writes in, we now own the 4th and 5th pick. Matt Siegel is actually sitting on my couch to the right over here. Matt, wave hi.
How we doing?
There he is. He says, how we doing? Matt came in from Jersey. He's a Jet season ticket holder, and he came to the game, and I saw that he just commented on the YouTube channel. So he's sitting on my couch as we watch Red Zone, as we just got back from the game. Let's see here. Hutch and Lawson next season. Matthew, you're not going to be able to get Aiden Hutchinson 4th overall. Would I like him? Sure. He's probably going to the Texans, though, 2nd overall, possibly. Let's see here. Oh, here we go. I can finally add this superstar sticker to the screen. There we go. Jordan wants to tell me, Jake, Zach Wilson needs a year, and he will be fine. Steele writes in, Jake, you ever think all the rookies quarterback this year aren't really good? Trevor's also playing like dog bleep. I think they're rookies. Like, the problem is we live in a world where everyone wants instant gratification, instant results. That's just not how it works in the NFL. I wanted Zach to be like Justin Herbert too. It's not going to happen year one. That's the outlier. Like, you can't, Steele, you think all these guys are bad besides Mac? Like, you don't think Lawrence will be good? Fields, Lance, like, either they're all going to be bad. There's only going to be one quarterback out of 5 that ends up being good. That's statistically unlikely. I think what's happening here is Mac Jones went to the best situation. He's on the best team with the best coach, and he's playing well. I think Zach Wilson needs more time than 6 full football games before we know what he is. That's what I think. Let's see what we got here. Jets Gang writes in, Zach's throw to Berrios was a perfect read. Very good throw. No doubt about that. Miguel writes in, what up, Jake? Jets win. That's all that matters. Look, these videos are way more fun after a win than a loss. So despite some of the inconsistencies from the quarterback today, he played and they won. That's what matters. The Jets won 2 football games last year, people. 2. All right, Zach now has 2 wins as a starter this year. He's got a bunch of winnable games coming up down the stretch. If he wins one more game this year, he's won one more game than Sam Darnold did all last year. Like, let's not forget where this team was a year ago. Like, they're bad. They're rebuilding. I know no Jet fan wants to hear rebuilding, but that's the situation this team's in. Year 1 of a coach, year 1 of a quarterback, year 2 of a GM, 2.5. Like, Douglas, I can't count his first year when he takes over in June after the draft and after the free agent spending spree by Mike McCagnon, who was very bad at his job. Patience is the only way the Jets will get out of this mess. Let's see here. Larry writes in, Zach's talent blows Mac out of the water. I think physically Zach does have more talent, but that doesn't necessarily mean Zach will end up being the better quarterback. But clearly the Jets drafted Zach because they believe in his talent and they know that he works hard. He studies the playbook well, and they think that he'll be able to grasp the NFL once he gets reps and experience. Jets Forever writes, Mac Jones would be good on any team. He might be. He may or not be. I don't know. I don't know what he is yet. He hasn't played that many games yet for me to have a determination on what he is. He's looked good. No one can deny that, but he's also on by far and away the best team. Roberto writes in, Jake, what do you think of the play calling today? We talked about this in the open. It's worth repeating for those just tuning in. I thought the play calling by LaFleur overall was very good. And I think what we saw is how much better he is, regardless who the quarterback is, when the man is up in the booth calling the plays. Because he's been light years better since that move was made. I thought he did a really good job getting Zach Wilson comfortable after a shaky start. There were some good design runs. There were some really good play action reads. The Jets did a good job identifying the Texans have failed all season to set the edge on the defensive line. So they kept running pitch plays and stretch plays and tosses. And that was good. And they basically were getting 5 yards a pop every time they ran the ball. That was productive play by the New York Jets. That was good to see. Let's see. R. Salai writes, and I challenge any couch potato critic here to be in Zach Wilson's shoes and win an NFL game on the road, still nursing an injury. Mic drop. Look, the reality is I don't blame any Jet fan that wants to criticize the quarterback. That's part of it. Was Zach Wilson great today? No. He already told you he wasn't great after the game. He was frustrated with his performance. But I think we got to put things in proper context and perspective, right? If Zach Wilson is still having games like this a year from now, okay, we could be a little concerned. We could criticize him and wonder how good he'll be as a quarterback. But when he's coming off a significant knee injury on the road, playing without Corey Davis and Michael Carter and Denzel Mims, and he goes out there and puts together some really good drives and they win the game, like, I think we got to take the good with the bad, especially when you end up winning the game. I know the Texans aren't good. That doesn't really matter, though. Like, that doesn't matter. Like, the goal's to win. The Jets won. Wilson did a good job going out there and ending this three-game losing streak the Jets were on. Like, he missed 4 games. He hasn't played in 5 weeks. Tevin Coleman, good game. Ty Johnson, good game. Austin Walter, good game. I thought the offense did what it had to do to get going. And obviously, Zach Wilson got better as the game went on. Defensively, pitching a shutout in the second half, scoring 18 points unanswered. Like, these are all good things we could point to regardless who the team is. I want to make sure I'm not missing some good comments here. Once again, really appreciate all of you who take time to watch these shows after every game. Roberto goes, give Zach a break. He was having rust. Jay Perez writes in, what do you think about the offensive line's performance? I thought the line was overall good. They ran the ball well. I thought Zach Wilson, you could say out of his 4 sacks, I don't know if all of them were necessarily on the offensive line. I think some of it was Zach just trying to go through his progressions and learn where to go with the football and maybe kind of locked in too much and didn't always take what the defense was giving him. He did more in the second half. So I to be honest, Jay, I thought the line was pretty good. Without having watched the game from the TV view, I'm gonna watch the game back and then I'll have more thoughts this week on the channel. But I didn't think the line was bad. They didn't have any killer penalties, which is good. But obviously the line has been significantly better throughout the course of the year than it was the first couple games of the year. That's the other thing. Zach is now stepping into an offensive line that appears to be way more stable than it had been, and it looks like Mekhi Becton's a couple weeks from returning finally, so that'll be good as well. B. Lewis writes in, Jake, I'm glad the Jets didn't disappoint you since you were at the game. I'm not gonna lie, B. Lewis, when they were down 14-3, I was like, oh God, here we go. But then I remembered the Texans might be one of the a couple teams in this league that actually are worse than the Jets. So I knew the Jets had a chance after that. Timothy writes in, Zach Wilson's 2-4 in full games. Let's see what he does the next 6 games. Yeah, that's a good stat to look at it. Now, let's be fair. They probably lose that New England game, even if Zach ends up playing. The game where the defense allows 54 freaking points. But if we want to cherry pick the numbers, I'm all about it. Zach is 2-4 in full games. So let's hope that he goes out there and he puts together some decent games down the stretch. If he keeps having games like this the next 6, then I think you can criticize him and say, oh man, I wanted to see more from him his rookie year. But let's put everything in context. Coming off a knee injury and hasn't played in a month. There were some good plays today. Let's not ignore those. AVT was awesome on a lot of blocks. Yes, I'm looking forward to rewatching this game. It looked like he played well. I know he had that one holding penalty, but it's not like he's been committing a ton of penalties throughout the season. Anthony writes in, Cooks owned Bryce Hall today. Look, Cooks does that to everyone. He's really good. He's by far and away the Texans' best offensive player. But Bryce Hall at the end of the game, I think it was Cooks that Tyrod was throwing to, and Cooks had the pass breakup. So that was, Bryce Hall had the pass breakup. So that was a very good play. Hall, really good cornerback. Yes, he is. He's been a really good find in the mid-round, 5th round pick by Joe Douglas. Does Quinn make the Pro Bowl? Yes, Quinn Williams will absolutely make the Pro Bowl this year, and he's going to be probably looking for a big extension from the Jets in the offseason. We'll see how they play that one. VR goes, Bryce Hall has a legit chance to develop into a number 1 CB. Yes, he does. I think he's continued to play well. Look, corners are going to get beat. Us Jet fans, we were spoiled watching arguably the best cover corner in his prime in Darrelle Revis. Corners get beat. It happens. I thought Hall did a nice job on the last play of the game bouncing back, and really the coverage in the second half by the Jets was excellent. The Texans didn't score any points. Like, what more do you want? Let's see here. Ryan White writes in, all I heard is the preseason, the team is young. We'll probably struggle. We need to be patient. Now that patience is required, people are jumping ship. Zach Wilson's a stud, and he'll be fine as he gains more experience. Ryan, I think you have a great perspective on this team and the season. The people that are ripping the Jets and saying, this person stinks, Zach's a bust, fire Salah. Has it been ugly at times this year? Hell yeah. Has it been frustrating at times this year? Hell yeah. But at the same time, have we not seen growth from some of these young players? Has the 2021 draft class not been excellent so far? AVT, Elijah Moore, Michael Carter, 2020 class, Bryce Hall's emergence, John Franklin Myers, Quincy Williams. Like, you could see there's players on this team. There's not enough good ones, but there's good players on this team developing. We need to be patient. Zach got hurt. Now he's back. Let's hope he plays well these last 6 games. But, like, they're the youngest team in the league. They lead the NFL in rookie snaps. Like, it's been frustrating. I wish they had not been blown out in some of these games. Like, I could live with losses if they're competitive. Not today because the Texans stink. But I could live with losses to the Bills or the Patriots or Denver if they're competitive. The blowouts are frustrating. But let's hope now, over these last 6 games, there's no more getting blown out. And we see some real progress down the stretch. They were competitive against Miami. They were competitive today. They won today. They could beat the Eagles next week. It's not impossible. They could beat Jacksonville in a couple weeks. They could beat Miami in a couple weeks. It's not impossible. Win some games. Win games. Young players play well. Build a foundation. That's what you're trying to do. And we saw, for the most part, the Jets go out there and play well overall today, specifically in the second half. So that's good. That's good things right there. Cooks 3 for 45 with a touchdown. Yeah, I mean, the one touchdown he had was a great throw and catch by Tyrod to Cooks. Cooks is a good player. He is quarterback proof as well. Even when Davis Mills was throwing him the ball, he was putting up numbers. He's by far and away the Texans' best offensive player. Liberal Irishman. Jets are currently at picks 4 and 5 back-to-back. Stingley Jr. and Hutchinson, please. Look, I think we all watched Aiden Hutchinson yesterday in Michigan's big win over Ohio State. Hutchinson's, I don't think, going to be there at 4. I'll just tell you that right now. I do not think the Jets are going to be able to get Aiden Hutchinson. They will, however, be in position for Derek Stingley Jr., Spencer Lindenbaum, the safety from Notre Dame, Hamilton, that people seem to love. Although I'm going to get out in front of this right now. Without watching all the tape, I'm iffy on drafting another safety that high. We know what happened last time. It's a non-premium position. I probably would be against doing just that. I probably would lean more corner, edge rusher, offensive line, priority positions, but I want to get out in front of it. Root for the Seattle Seahawks to lose on Monday Night Football. I don't even know who they're playing. I should probably look that up right now, as every week I root for the Jets and then I root against Seattle. Let's see who Seattle's playing on Monday Night Football. Seattle is playing the football team, the Washington R-Words, as they're known as. Taylor Heineke versus Russell Wilson, Monday Night Football. Does it get better than that? It's Snoopy. JFM came alive today. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Good to have a big JFM game. Solomon Jets. I just got home. Solomon, why didn't I meet you at the tailgate, brother? I thought you were going to come by and say hello. Let's see. Is Ashton improving? I didn't see him make any glaring mistakes today. Correct me if I'm wrong. You guys watched the game on TV and probably had better views than I did being in the stands. I'll rewatch the game and I'll have more on this during the week. I didn't think Ashton Davis played bad today, though. Jets need to fly JFM's family to every game. Was his family there today? Good. JFM looked like he deserved that contract today. Yes, he was very good. Bino writes in, McCagnon set this team so far back. It's fair to so far back. It's no wonder Joe wanted 6 years. You know how bad this team was. There's something to the fact that Joe Douglas did get a 6-year contract because no one was taking this job unless they had job security because they saw how shitty this team was. Like, it's great, by the way, that I can curse on the YouTube channel because I can't do it on the radio. But, like, the Jets were awful. Awful. Mike McCagnon's draft record is one of the worst ever. It's It was worse than John Izek's in totality. Think about that. So, like, this team is starting over with a new coach, a new coaching staff, a new quarterback. They need time, man. I know Joe Douglas has been here technically now for 3 seasons. It's not 3 seasons. He got hired in June of 2019. Well, he can't do anything in June. The roster's set. McCagnon already spent money on Le'Veon Bell. Already spent money on C.J. Mosley. Previous year already spent money on Tremaine Johnson. Already drafted Darren Lee. Already drafted Jamal Adams. Already drafted Sam Darnold. Already drafted Christian Hackenberg. Already drafted Ja'Kai Polite. Do I need to keep going, or do we all want to have heart attacks right now? Probably not. So you get my point. All right? This team was set up for failure by the previous regime. Got to show patience. I hate asking Jet fans to be patient because some of you, were probably like 10 the last time they won a Super Bowl. Most of you watching, like me, were not alive. So I hate having to ask for patience when it's been this long. But the only way you get out of this mess is by showing patience. And we've already seen from Douglas, like, some really good moves that show you that he could be a decent general manager. Like, he's better than McCagnon. He's better than Izek. Hell yeah, the bars are really low. But, like, when was the last time the Jets had a draft class that has this many key players already playing well? 06? Probably, right? DeBrick and Nick Mangold. Like, Michael Carter, Elijah Moore, AVT. I mean, there's 3 players I just named that they hit on. All right, Zach Wilson's playing now. Let's hope he plays well. Patience. I hate asking for patience, but that's the only way it gets better for the Jets. Sorry for the rant there. Mike McCagnon makes me angry. JFM family was in attendance. Great. I would have loved to have run into them. I did not see them. Hulk smash. Jake, a win is a win, and I'm loving it. Yeah. Why are we going to nitpick wins? Enjoy the wins. We're Jet fans. We don't see that many of them. Let's see here. So many wasted picks. Yeah, the Izek 6. It was like the Izek 12, and the only good player he hit in that draft was Quincy Williams, who unfortunately, had a career-ending injury. Couldn't ever stay on the field. Jake, you're hurting me with those names. Sorry. It's brutal, man. Tannenbaum was sketchy too. Tannenbaum had a good run with the Jets, but once Mangini left and Tannenbaum was responsible for more picking the players, we saw a significant drop-off. I don't need to bring up the names Kyle Wilson and Quentin Copels, do I? Well, too bad. I already did. Jin Pak writes in, was great to watch the Jets be competitive today. I drank half my usual losing amount. Yeah, wins are fun. Winning games is better than losing games, especially when you have young players. Like, you rather win than lose when you already have a lot of the key players in place. Like, I got news for the Jet fan that wants the highest draft pick possible. Any good GM will find players no matter where you're picking. It doesn't matter. Like, it does not matter. If you're a good general manager, you'll find good players. Douglas has proven he could find good players no matter where he's picking. Has he hit on every pick? No. But no GM will. And the fact is the Jets have set themselves up to have 7 picks in the first 4 rounds, including 2 1s, 2 2s. Thank you, Sam Darnold. Oh, by the way, any Sam Darnold truthers still alive? You guys still doing your thing? Coming after me in every comment saying, Sam this, Sam that. How's that working out? Like, the Jets made the right decision then, regardless what happens here with Zach Wilson. But that second-round pick that they got from Carolina, that pick's going to be in the top 45. The Panthers got smoked today. So, another pick for the Jets where they're in prime position right now. I'm going to pull it up because it's nice to see the Jets having high draft picks. Right now, the Jets have the 4th pick and the 5th pick. Obviously, root for the Washington football team tomorrow night on Monday Night Football. Then you want to look at the big board here and see where the Jets are picking in the second round. The full order. I mean, the full order has the Jets picking again at 36th overall in the second round and then again at 42. So right now, as we sit here, even with a win today, the New York Jets have 4 picks in the top 42 of the draft. It's pretty damn good, I would say so. Pretty damn good. Not to mention, you also got 2 4th-round picks as well. Hate asking for patience, but you could see the foundations being set for this team. Now they got to hit on the picks. Let's see. We're just going through McCagnon draft picks now. Goodness. We do not want to do that. Let's see. Jay writes in, Zach needs improvement. 14 of 25, won't do it against a better team. Obviously, who's going to sit here and tell you, yep, Zach Wilson could play like this against the NFL's elite and they'll win. But, like, where are you people when he went out there and played great against the Titans and won you that game by himself? Like, we can't nitpick the performances here. Like, it's not he was good, he was bad. I thought he was okay today. There's nuance to how the quarterback played. There's nuance to it. There's gray area. There were good plays. There were bad plays. He started bad. He got better as the game went on and made really good plays. Like, let's not forget that one. Let's see. Kev writes in, Jake, I understand we have picks, but I don't want to go into the tanking mindset. We need to get the feel of winning now. Kev, that's my point. We have picks. The Jets have plenty of picks. I don't care how many games they win down the stretch. Winning is not bad for this team. Last year, when you had a lame duck coach, a lame duck quarterback, yeah, I'd be the first to admit I rooted against the Jets basically from every game on after they started 0-4. When they lost that Thursday night game to the Broncos at MetLife, to Brett Rippon, who's like the 7th quarterback on the Broncos last year, when they lost that game, I wanted the Jets to lose every game. I wanted to fire Adam Gase to the sun, football-wise. I'm sure he's a wonderful person. But, like, it was over. So I rooted against him. This year, no, I want to win as many games as possible. I want to see Zach play well. I want to see the young players play well. I want Saleh to coach this team up, this offense to get better down the stretch. That's what you want to see. So get the feel of winning. Yeah, that's what we want to see. Matthew Siegel, sitting to my right on my couch, writes in, need to play Berrios more. Great slot guy. Might have the best slot depth in the league. I can't tell if this is a trolling comment or not, or you actually want Berrios. Now, you want Berrios? Great depth. Well, they actually do have good depth in the slot. You know who had a quiet game today? Jameson Crowder had a pretty quiet game today, but it doesn't matter because the Jets won, and they ran the ball well, and Elijah Moore got targeted 8 times, which is exactly what you want to see Zach Wilson doing, throwing the ball to his best weapon. Evan writes in, Zach needs to improve on short and intermediate throws. Yeah, I would say he does. But, I mean, he will. All right, it's his first game back in a month. We got to give him a break here. Got to give Zach Wilson a break. Let's see. Tom Wright writes in, I don't think it's out of line to criticize Wilson. The entire season is about progression, and it's a little mind-boggling at times that he misses these short, wide-open throws. He has to improve. No doubt, Tom, I think that's a reasonable comment. If you've watched this video, we've criticized Zach Wilson a lot in this video, while also putting his performance in context, that there was some good in there as well. Just like there was good in the second half against the Panthers. Just like there was good in the Titans game where he was the rookie of the week in the NFL. There's been moments where you've seen Zach Wilson play like a guy that could be really good. There's also been moments where he looks like a rookie. And today he looked like a rookie who hadn't played in a month, coming off a knee injury on the road. It happens. So we definitely can criticize Zach, but I think when you criticize him, put it in perspective, put it in the proper context, right? This is not Sam Darnold in year 3 going out there and finishing the season with 9 touchdowns to 11 interceptions, right? Zach Wilson has played 6 full football games. 6. He's completed 6 full football games. Got to be more patient with the quarterback. Make no mistake about that. Let's see. We'll take a couple more here. I can't thank you guys enough for supporting the channel. If you're new, once again, do me a solid and subscribe right over here. You also could help the channel grow by liking this video right down below. Brian Z writes in, this is a good point here. Winning is a culture that needs to be built. That's why the Pats only had 1 season and then 1 down season, then right back in the mix. They have a great coach. They have a great foundation, a great culture. You're trying to build that with the Jets. It doesn't happen overnight. It only happens by just stacking wins, time, drafting right, like doing things that good teams do. The Jets are at the very beginning of doing that, unfortunately. Us Jet fans, like, we've been a part of it from the very beginning. So we've seen all the bad. We've seen the different regimes. We've seen the missed picks by past general managers and terrible coaching hires by ownership. But this regime's brand new, and they deserve the benefit of the doubt because they haven't given us a reason for us to think otherwise. Like, Joe Douglas has not given us a reason for us to think that he's in over his head and incompetent like McCagnon and Izig were. He's not. Has he been perfect? No. You know, has Robert Saleh been perfect in year 1? No. But the Jets already now have more wins this year than they had last year. So, like, yeah, it's not saying much, but patience, progress. This team needs to continue to just win games, play better, and obviously Zach Wilson needs to continue to get his feet wet and get experience. Just win, baby. Let's end with that. Great point here by Jay Perez. Never apologize for winning football games. Never. All right, everyone. I want to thank you all so much for watching the channel. 281. I mean, that might be a record for most people we've had watching the video live. So if you're new to the channel, I ask that you subscribe over here. You could like this video down below. And you tell me in the comments as this video ends what your biggest takeaways were from the Jets and the Texans. Big shout out once again for those just tuning in to every single person that I got a chance to meet today at the game. The Jet fans in Houston were awesome. HoustonJetsFan.com. If you ever want to watch a game with us here in Houston, they did a great job organizing the tailgate. Shout out to Alexis, who's the founder. She put the whole thing together. We had at this tailgate, and check out my Twitter account at Jake Asman if you want to see videos and pictures from it. Instagram as well. It's just my name, at Jake Asman. We had Texas barbecue today, and it was catered under the tent. We had as much alcohol and shots of whatever liquor you wanted. It was fantastic. In fact, you know what? Matt Siegel, come over here. Come over here. Matt Siegel's going to make his debut here on the YouTube show. This is my friend from Jersey, Jet season ticket holder. Tell everyone your thoughts. Get in the camera here. You're going to have to bend down. Tell everyone your thoughts on the Houston Jets fan tailgate that you experienced.
Oh, unlike any other, besides L5 at MetLife, first class, love it. Great alcohol, better time, better people.
Now, you just heard me rant about the Jets for an hour and 11 minutes. What did you think?
Great rant. I couldn't say it better myself. We got the win. That's all that matters.
And how good is the food here in Houston, Texas?
Oh, it's the best. Can't beat it.
Thank you for the time.
Thank you.
That's Matt Siegel, everyone. All right, we're going to end there. I had to get him on the postgame show. He's had to listen to me talk for an hour and 11 minutes with the game on mute as we got the Red Zone channel going. So I am going to end this video right now. If you want more Jets content, make sure you're checking out the channel throughout the week. We post daily Jet videos. You can follow me on Twitter at Jake Asman, JakeAsman, Instagram as well. Big shout out to everyone who took time to watch this video either live or after the fact. Let's end with this. Jets, Jets win, baby. Talk to you guys tomorrow. See ya.